Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having a good start to the morning. I'm going to start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm looking at. As of right now, I was trying to pay attention to /NG and the overall direction. It looks like since where it closed at on Tuesday, right around this general area, and then how it pushed up during extended hours. That middle VWAP, which is this purple line that we see right here, has been acting as a support. Looks like we got a lot of consolidation right around 2.64, which caused, based off previous patterns, for there to be some form of resistance. Due to that resistance, now natural gas is pulling back a little bit. Again, the pattern is still staying true where there is no break of pattern just yet for natural gas. Because this is an overall uptrend, maybe something that we can wait out for is wait for the consolidation, wait for this thing to push up, and see if we can get some signs of an uptrend and try to capture, you guys as it pushes up, because this is the ultimately like what is showing signs of an uptrend. So the margin isn't huge; it's around 1.5% for when maybe it does become a little bit more on the oversold side. So I'm going to just give it a little bit more time. I'm going to set my alert right here, and then we can go from right on over here. All right. All right. How are you guys all doing today? So we have a couple people talking about, so /CO with a very consistent descending pattern, right? Overall, it's almost the exact opposite of what natural gas is going through, where instead of, do you guys see that natural gas is showing signs of an uptrend, while /CL is showing signs of a downtrend, and the middle VWAP is actually what's acting as a resistance, where on natural gas it's acting as a support. So really nice to be able to see a complete opposite kind of like pattern where we're seeing a descending pattern. So it makes sense on I wouldn't let's say because UWT is the one that's correlated on over to /CL, so it makes sense that on DWT that this thing pushed up quite a bit. So yeah, this one DWT is up about 6.4%. We got you guys up about 6%, so that's really nice to be able to see. How's the overall market doing? Looks like it's selling off, right? So it's sold off. Right now we're kind of just consolidating. So you guys can see that normally the middle VWAP is where it gets rejected, right? So for all those that are trading big companies, as in Fortune 500 companies, just understand that it might have an influence on how it's trading based off of /NQ and /ES. Yeah, you would have to check up on that just due to the holiday. The natural gas report and the crude oil report might be pushed back today. So we'll definitely have to check up on that and see what the move is on that. So here we go. Now at 117, it pushed up to highs of So it's becoming a little bit more on the overbought side. Do you guys see what's going on? /NG. Do you guys see this? Right? Can we break this one down today? So AMD was killer. All right, nice. Hi, good morning, Chase. Hey, what's going on with JNUG? Okay, so strong push up, a lot of consolidation right now, but it looks like now it's selling off. So be careful with this. Again, /NG. GC is a great reference to be able to have. Here we go. Do you guys look at do you guys see the MACD? Do you guys see the RSI? Right? Is this the beginning of natural gas to sell off, or is this where it's going to consolidate and bounce back, right? What's going on here, right? So let's see what we have going on. So what I'm going to do is, let's see. So I'm going to go in with less than, I would normally go in with 1,000 shares, which would be 25% of my account. Right, I'm going to go in with a little bit less than that. I'm going to go here and wait for this thing to also make lower lows. So I'm going to go here and put at 62 the midday. There we go. We'll see. I'm trying to see how natural gas is reacting on the actual future, right? And then seeing how I can trade it here on just to get some skin in the game, and then if it confirms an uptrend to average up, right? So here we go. So Jeffrey, I think you answered your own question, right? No confirmation yet. So I think that's, especially if it's been consolidating for some time, um, let's be patient with that one. Yeah, so we talked about that yesterday, right, John? Where they released like their new type of product, right, that they were going to be offering, which makes sense. They release a new product. It's maybe something that people didn't expect, and increases the value of the overall company. So I like that. Here we go. Let's see how DGAS looks. So DGAS trading right around. I like it. Okay. I'm gonna. How do you get your alerts to turn on the arrow on the side of your screen? I don't. Have you not checked out the entire course? It's explained in the course. So you just go right on over here under settings, and you click instead of alerts, instead of show alerts, you click show arrows only. Opinion on Tesla. No confirmation. That's my opinion on Tesla. No confirmation. No reason for me to touch it just yet. It's been consistently selling off, and I'd rather just let it be as of now. Okay. I thought I had it at 24.72. Hey, I'm just saying. 24. I literally thought I put 24.72, but hey, get filled at 24.73, I guess. They just made 1 cent off of me. How dare they? Here we go. So again, I'm trying to focus on price ranges, right? And I got in with 700 shares. So let's check out Tesla. Okay, looks like it's trying to push up today, but let's be honest, that usually doesn't last, right? Yikes. Okay. Little dip buy for the boys on that 3-year analysis, right? All right, so you guys is at 24.66. Boys and ladies, yeah. True. Here we go. Nice little sell-off. You gotta be careful with this one. I'm just gonna have my order ready, right? I mean, it's not a huge dollar amount anyways, right? So it's 700, so I'm just gonna keep a close eye on it. It's definitely still selling off right now, so I'm just gonna make sure that I keep a close eye on it to see if there's a break of pattern. So yeah, it's definitely pushing down. Let's watch out for this. So right now what I'm looking at is on /NG. Based off of previous patterns, it's built a pretty strong support right around 2.62. So, just seeing where it's bounced at before. This is all kind of during pre-market hours. Sometimes it does fall below that, but it does a pretty good job holding. So I just want to make sure that we keep a close eye on that. I think that's the easiest way to put it, right? So keeping a close eye on that, making sure that we manage our risk. So I'll just have 100% of my order ready. If I have to sell it at market price, then we can go there, or we can set it with a stop, or whatever it is that we feel most comfortable with. So Yeah, that was embarrassing. That video that I uploaded yesterday of me punching that, I think it's called Bob, right? I don't think that was supposed to. I didn't edit it. I just gave the footage over to Michael, who edits our videos, and when I saw that in the thing, I was, I was like, that was kind of. I was just joking around. I was kind of cringe, but uh, okay. Well, I'm glad you guys thought it was funny. I guess a different side, right? Different side of things that I don't normally do. Maybe I'll have to practice a little bit more and um, come back. Need more like it. Damn, you guys just like me to do a bunch of embarrassing stuff. But okay, here we go. So should be around this general area that we should have a nice little support. Oh, watch out for this. Wow. Yeah, that's gonna be where I'm gonna. It's really beginning to change its overall direction, I think. Sadly, and I didn't trade pre-market hours at all this morning. I almost wasn't feeling good. I don't know if it was because of my driving. Yeah, I'm just gonna sell at that market. Um, I can get back in anyways. So look strong. Yeah. Um, uh, I don't know if you guys noticed, and this is something that someone direct messaged me as well that you guys have been identifying. We're in different time zones, so it might be a little different. But I did an amazing job during pre-market hours. Natural gas was aggressively selling off yesterday, and as soon as the market opened, um, the direction almost truly began to change, right? So the direction began to, and sometimes it's hard. And again, this is just an area of opportunity. That's why I'm talking to you guys about it. It changed right as the market opened. It's something that I've been aware of that's been going on. And it's just frustrating. It's frustrating to see that, like, there's such a consistent pattern as something is like trending, especially during pre-market hours, and then as soon as the market opens, the overall direction just begins to change. It's kind of what's going on right now with you guys and D-gas. Natural gas was doing such a beautiful job pushing up. I mean, I didn't trade it during pre-market hours, but now it's almost D-gas that's beginning to, now we're seeing natural gas itself break below this middle VWAP, which is something that it didn't do before. Now it's no longer making higher highs, and it's showing signs, maybe the overall direction might change. So I think this is why it's so important to take into consideration that you need to be on your toes. You need to be on your toes when these patterns show any indication of a potential reversal, especially if you I even during the live trading session, I don't know if you guys saw, but I was up like $500 or $700 on the open while I was trading with you guys. That's after my $5,300 profit. So I was up already like $6,000 by the first couple of minutes of the market open because I traded during pre-market hours. But I wasn't quick enough, right? And this is something that kind of just stuck in the back of my head. It's it was kind of frustrating that I knew this is something that we've pointed out before, that the direction has been changing a lot as soon as the market opened. Yet I was so stubborn to accept the change of direction because of how consistent I was during pre-market hours, and that's again I definitely paid the price for it. So regardless of what I think is going to happen, regardless of how much I want it to happen, it's a reminder that our wants and our desires are completely irrelevant to the market. And that it's very important to be able to identify quickly a potential reversal, and to maybe either watch your position size or to close your position until the direction is super clear, just simply stepping away, right? It's the very simple things that I could have done that could have allowed me to clarify the direction instead of trying to be in every single position as this thing reverses up, reverses down, and stuff like that. So, and sometimes even after confirmation, I mean, I understand like confirmation is needed, but I waited for confirmation. I don't know if you guys remember. I waited for confirmation on natural gas for it to like sell off. It just didn't sell off as low as it did during pre-market hours, and then it bounced and then it reversed. So, the overall direction just doesn't always have to be there. Made a quick 1.39% on DWT after first thing locked in profits right before it changes direction. I like that. So /CL. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so I see that. So it sold off here. It caught support, which normally didn't really do that, right? So it's been selling off, and it normally has been making lower lows. So really happy that you were able to do that. Let's try to see if I can jump on the fund too. If I'd have to buy like 2,000 shares, right? Right. So now on you guys, all right, we're right around that EMA line, right? You see that? The MACD looks decent, the RSI looks decent, but there's just something about it that because of how it sold off, I don't know if it's going to have the potential to, come back and push up to continue to reverse. Do you guys get what I'm saying? It breaking below the SMA line, I feel like the SMA line might start to act as a resistance instead of a support. Oh man. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you guys. I'm gonna set my alert for this. So the more that /CL sells off, the more money we'll make on DWT, right? But the exact opposite as well. So we're Team Justin right now. Justin Larson making us aware of the pattern, right, of /CL. You guys can see that it's, looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI. I see potential for there to be a sell-off. There's no confirmation yet. It hasn't broken below the EMA line. So that's what I'm going to be waiting out for. And then after we get that confirmation, I can slowly begin to add more to my position size on DWT. There we go. So a nice little push. Okay. So we'll definitely check it out. Looks like natural gas might be getting rejected. I'm gonna do it here. We'll see if it even gets that confirmation. That's it. There we go. /CL selling off. DWT pushing up. I'm gonna have to blow my nose real quick, team. I apologize. 1 second. All right. I want to explain kind of like what's going on right now with /CL. Right? Do you guys understand what I'm doing? Right. So there's three things that I'm focusing on. Right. Direction. You guys might be like, well, look, /CL is showing signs of a sell-off. It's showing between the middle and bottom VWAP. So its overall direction is descending, meaning that the more that this thing sells off, the more that the inverse ETF, which is DWT, pushes up. So I just want to point that out, right? So the direction is something that I'm focusing on. This might look like a little crazy all over the place. This is not really what I'm paying attention to. /CL is what I'm paying attention to. Moving forward from that, based off of how it's been trading and how it pushed up, got rejected, sold off, pushed up, got rejected, and then it showed signs of a sell-off. After it showed signs of a peak formation, I started seeing that this thing started to pull back, took a position on DWT, broke below the EMA line, added a little bit more to my position, and then as and if this thing continues to sell off, I can continue to add more to my position on DWT, leading it all the way down to potentially, a 57.20. Do I really plan on holding it that long? No. And altogether, it looks like it's doing some consolidation around this general area. But what I wanted to point out is what influenced that trade. The direction, the pattern, right? And the confirmation when I saw that it broke below the EMA line. Yes, it'd be nice for this thing to break below the SMA line and continue to make lower lows and literally look like this, right? So the more that this thing sells off, right, with that direction, with that pattern, the more money I can make on DWT. And that's how and why I decided to take that position. Does it mean 100% it's a perfect trade? No, there's never such thing as a perfect trade, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible. So oil report is today. Yeah, it most likely should be. I actually just cancel that. Do you guys see how it's struggling to break above this SMA line, the simple moving average, the green line that we see right here, right? Scared that this thing used to act as a support, that now it's going to be acting as a resistance. It's something that I pointed out right away. So, what's going on, David? What's up? What's up? I know a lot of you guys are saying that what's it called? The oil report should be today. I just want to remind you that it was Memorial Day, right? So due to the observance, it might get pushed back a day. So I'll just confirm the date. So made more money pre-market hours. Congrats. Super happy to hear that. Just then, right on, finding into a site that you can easily identify the direction of and trade that one. I agree. Super happy to hear that. So yep, it looks like we might be getting rejected around this general area. I'm just going to close out this position. I think I could have done a better job, in all honesty, getting in at a better entry. I'm down like $80 and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it sucks, but let's be honest, it's a very small price to pay, rather than being down $200 or $300 or even more way down here if it completely breaks its pattern. So I just think that I would feel much more comfortable leaving this position. And it looks like my position on DWT in any ways is doing better. So maybe we can pay a little bit more attention to this and kind of go from there. So it's not even doing much better, but the overall direction and plan is going much more according to plan. So here we go. Looks like we have a nice little push up. Maybe I can get out around this general area. $35. There we go. Pushed up above 24.70. Yeah, that thing's struggling. Do you tend to make most of your money, your profits pre-market? No, not at all. I got that question a lot yesterday. Guys, like, I don't always trade as aggressively during pre-market hours. Like, for those that have been watching me for a long time, um, that's honestly a little bit of a newer thing. I've just been trying to knock out my trading earlier so I can film it for the YouTube videos, so I can have Michael edited, start editing it by 12 to 1. It's honestly just to accommodate like my YouTube type of content because I need to finish all my work super early. So if I could finish all that and then kind of get my day started, it allows me to share more of my day in life within like the normal trading hours. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Because by 1 o'clock, which is when the market closes, I have to send all the files to Michael. So it had nothing to do with like, oh, I make more, like I like making most of my money during pre-market hours. It all has to do with like if the opportunity presents itself, then great. I'll make sure that um, you know I focus on that. All right, Justin. Thank you again for your time. Really do appreciate it, brother. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Ah. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is like watching when there's like when the direction is either super clear of like when something is selling off or pushing up, right, or uptrending, and then making sure that the margin of profit is worth it. I think those big plays. One of my biggest plays yesterday during pre-market hours was nearly $3,000, and that was just with one. I mean, it moved 3%, so it makes sense, right? And I went in very aggressive with the $100,000. But just to put into perspective, that's 3% growth for your account as well. And that was in one very strong sell off on natural gas, which caused a really strong push on degas. And that was right around like that like 4 to 5 a.m. and stuff like that. So, I like it, Apple Juice. Congratulations. That's huge. So, paid my mortgage payment this month with the profits. I like it. That's super exciting. There we go. Whoa, DWT pushed up. I mean, forward slash CL pushed up. I just wanted to get rid of it. So I sold at 24.7109. I think I bought at like, oh, there it goes. I lost $13. Not bad, right? Plus a $3 entry and a $3 exit. So lost about $19. Yeah, percentage is more relatable, but dollar amount gives them more YouTube users and likes and clicks. You would think. Sometimes, again, there's very few. If I have a really big day, yes, it does. But if you guys notice, like people love when I lose money in the market, and those videos we've talked about it before. That those videos are the ones that end up doing the best. So, um, altogether, it's just like for people to be able to like track, how much it is that I'm up and how much it is that I'm down. Because sometimes I don't trade with $100,000, right? You guys have seen it multiple times, but I still have to, if I still share on the percentage aspect of how much it is that I made, um, then it's much different. Wow, huge sell off there. Um, so I feel like we did good with that one. Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. Strong push up on / CL, which is the opposite of what we really wanted, what I wanted for DWT, right? So I'll have to keep a close eye on this. It's around that middle VWAP for / CL. You guys see that? Let's show this one then. I don't know what we're at here. A little bummy. That kind of sucks. But look how it's writing that. That's so interesting, huh? I think it's so cool. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to identify like these indicators that act as resistance levels for these specific like ETFs or stocks, and then just get rejected at that price point. People lock in profits, it begins to sell off, and it's like, it's so crazy. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna set a stop for DWT. So, all right, and feel. You crack me up. All right, let's do a couple breakdowns for you guys if that's okay with you guys, and then we'll close out the live show. I think we've been live for a little bit over 30 minutes, so let's go ahead and break down some stocks for you guys, and then we can kind of go from there. So, shop. What is going on, Abil? So ticker symbol shop. Here we go. I think we talked about this one already. So yeah, so it definitely is selling off. I mean, if you think that the margin of profit in this range, that it's around the EMA line, that it'll bounce there and then push up, if you think that margin of profit is worth it, then great. I just don't find it to be like a great deal. Do you get what I'm saying? Like a great deal where it offers a huge dip buy opportunity on a very consistent uptrend, kind of more like this, where it sells off and that it has a nice little margin for recovery. That's just my opinion. Just want to share that with you. But yeah, I do really find the overall direction attractive. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD. It might have a little bit more to sell off, so I'd keep a very close eye on that. So there's so many people talking about this. I could only imagine that it's a pump and dump. So, and I love how none of you guys that are asking for me to break this one down are in any way sharing your ticker call out format, because you guys know exactly what it is, and it's a pump and dump. So you guys can see that there's no volume. All of a sudden, a huge amount of volume is present. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD, and look how much it pushed up. Yes, I get it. It pushed up a lot, especially during pre-market hours. But look how it's trading right now. It's not showing any indication of an uptrend, especially if you don't understand the different catalysts or the different factors that are driving the price up and down. Then why even mess with it? So for those that are saying they released news today, I can almost guarantee that that news is all fake. Just like every other pump and dump that releases news or potential FDA approval or potential acquisition, it's all BS. So again, if you don't truly understand what this company is and what actually drove the price up, just ask yourself, if it sounds too good to be true, then it most likely is. It doesn't mean you can't make money off of it, but don't tell yourself that, hey, this news was released, it's going to continue to push up from here. News becomes less relevant, especially if it's falsified news. So I just had to cut losses on DWT at 714. But yeah, I'm not going to even waste too much time covering this. It's just not even worth it. So let's go ahead and go back to the 180-day analysis. And let's see if we can break down some other things. So here we go. Ticker symbol DGAS. So we've been taking this one day by day. As of right now on ticker symbol DGAS, we could see that we saw some people calling it out because it was approaching this like general support area, right? It looks like it sold off quite a bit. Looks like it, made sense on why it got rejected right around that $130 price point. It's usually what tends to happen. But yeah, DWT or forward slash sales still pushing up. So I would still wait for confirmation. Like the MACD, like the RSI, it might still have a little bit more margin for it to sell off before it actually reverses. As we could see that, the MACD is just beginning, and the RSI is not even that much of a good deal. So another perfect example. So I made 20% off of ELTK. Another perfect example of what a pump and dump is. So strong, consistent uptrend, very strong manipulation. And yeah, it's pushing up, but it most likely is halted at the moment, right? And the spread between the ask and the bid is so big that it probably isn't worth it. So again, if those are the type of stocks that you want to trade, all power to you. I'm not here to tell you what to trade, but let's not overcomplicate it. It just call it as what it is. So. Oh man, there we go. Let me show you guys how much I ended up having to cut on this one. So 264. That's a little of a bigger one, but not altogether. I mean, that literally is less than 0.024%, right? If it comes down to being fully invested. I just didn't want to ride it as this thing sold off, and I didn't want the same experience that I had yesterday with really giving back almost $1,000 by trying to hold something and hoping it reverses. So that's why I ended up getting losses on that one, and it doesn't mean that I can't get back in. So it shouldn't take much to get back in, especially if I start seeing, forward slash CL getting rejected. I can always get back in on that. And then again, on ticker symbol UGAS, I barely lost anything, which was $13. So not too bad, right? Here we go, ticker symbol SPY. Okay, so it looks like you might be treating this as, it just strong, consistent downtrend pattern as of right now. Overall direction is not changing. So Ryan, just keep that into consideration, and you can ask yourself and answer this question. If you've been struggling to grow your account, it's probably because you're focusing on trading patterns that are not showing signs of growth. This is not even showing signs of growth in the past couple of days, nor on the day. So with that being said, is this something that you want to partake in right now? If it is, great. If not, then again, maybe don't worry about it too much. So yeah. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and do a quick breakdown on kind of what's going on. So forward slash CL was showing signs of a sell-off. It was normally getting rejected right around this kind of like middle VWAP area. Looks like it's still trying to push up. The MACD and the RSI are very overextended, so we might get or start to see a little change of pattern. The SMA line used to act as a resistance, as we could see here and here, but now it's acting as a support. So something that kind of changed, and that's what influenced my trade, right? Forward slash ES, has to do with the S&P 500, and forward slash NQ has to do with the overall market. We can see that this thing is trading between the middle and bottom VWAP and kind of just trading in between this range. So again, identify the low point, identify the high point, and make sure that you walk away locking in those profits. Forward slash GC was showing signs of an uptrend, but ultimately as the market began to open, the overall direction began to sell off. So if you're trying to partake in it now, then it's most likely showing signs of a downtrend as of now. So we got forward slash NG was showing signs of an uptrend. Overall direction might begin to change, something that we might have to take into consideration. So here we go, forward slash NQ, also really strong push up. This has to do with the NASDAQ ETF. So I think that's really just it. So ticker symbol KO. Thank you again, Randall. Downtrending right now, downtrending yesterday. This is Coca-Cola overall, right? So 180-day analysis. Yeah, I can see why it is that you're calling this one out, because it has this pattern where it's showing signs of an uptrend. Let's just wait for a little bit more signs of a confirmation, or if you just want to get in to get some skin in the game and then add more, the ones that really matter, when it confirms that uptrend, then so be it. Just make sure that you do your part getting in for a good deal and that you manage your risk altogether, and that you average up when you see value, or I would average up when I would see value in that specific trade. So no help for me. What'd you say? I think that's why, because you said Rocky and my name is Ricky. So can you talk about SQQ stock split, please? I need okay. I mean that was last week, was it not? That was a while ago, was it not? Or is it going through another reverse stock split? Yeah. Yeah, its stock split has already been in effect. So it just reduced the amount of shares available to increase its overall dollar amount, if I'm not mistaken. It was valued at less than this. It was valued at like $7 or $10, and it went through a 1/4 reverse stock split, which means that they reduced pretty much, the amount of shares available to, 25%, right? And then it increases the overall value. So you just have less shares, but they're worth more. And usually it's not the best sign when a company does that. So Samuel, that's amazing to hear. Oh, I know you. We've talked before. Okay, so let's keep it consistent, and again, let's just make sure that that overall direction is in our favor, right? So happy to hear that. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. So I'm happy for all those that are tuning in for the first time. I hope that you guys are enjoying it. Not only, again, is it like, I guess today, which I wouldn't say that it always, I feel like I usually do a pretty good job getting in and getting out at pretty decent price points. But the two trades that I've taken today have not been the best. You guys saw it all happen where I get in, I try to wait for the confirmation. You guys, I explain my thought process on what to influence me to take that position. But sometimes it just doesn't go according to plan, and that's why we just have to manage that risk. I honestly think I did a pretty good job managing my risk. I might have been able to do a better job on DWT if I could have done it at like what was that, at like 719 instead of like 714. So a little area of opportunity that I can work on as time goes on. But again, confirmation and refinement, I think is very important. So really do appreciate your guys' time. We hope we earned your thumbs up in this video. Let's be consistent. Let's wait for confirmation, especially if you're under the PDT rule. You have to be a little bit more selective than me, just because your day trades really have to matter. So we have an exciting day here planned. We have Nick Palladino who's visiting us. So we're probably going to go grab lunch, make a couple of videos about what we're trading, and then just try to enjoy the whole process. So hopefully we could end it on a green note. But altogether, just due to my day yesterday, I'm not going to be super rushed to try to make it or break it, right? So I'm just going to take it easy. If something shows up, great. If not, then again, maybe we can get an early start to the day where we can kind of just take a break off the market. So appreciate you guys' time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.